these were Christmas presents. So I actually had to battle to actually get the cost of these because, well, actually 3 of them are Christmas presents. I had to battle to get the cost of them because obviously, it's a bit rude to ask how much someone paid.
But right, it's time for us to talk loose graded vintage Star Wars once again. Welcome to Making the Grade episode 19, where Martyn continues his mission to collect the original 96 Kenner Star Wars figures in graded form. Last time out, his 4 latest editions took him up to 76 of the 96, and the total cost went up to £6,729. Previously, he was averaging £89.
Is it really that much?
64. Yeah, I'm afraid so. £89.64 per figure, but that is now down to £88.53. Keeps going down.
That's not bad.
I think that's pretty good. Bring on the yak face. That's all I can say. Bring on the yak
Stormy
face.
Luke.
Well, yeah. All right. How many then have you got for us today, Martyn?
I have 4 new ones today, and these were Christmas presents. So I actually had to battle to actually get the cost of these because, well, actually 3 of them are Christmas presents. I had to battle to get the cost of them because obviously, it's a bit rude to ask how much someone paid.
But I'm sure we agreed last year that we had to add them to the statistics. So yeah,
that's right. For the sake of YouTube videos, eh?
Yeah.
Right. So sorry, am I kicking off?
Yeah, go on, right. Keep going.
Okay, right. So, the first one, number 1, is a 1983 Prune Face. It's a no COO, and it's UKG graded 85%, and it cost me £65 from Another League Toys as usual. Obviously, this is a figure I had as a kid. It's one of the latter ones I've picked up because it's not a classic. Let's be honest. I think his name now is Orimoko or something like that. He's actually got a name, but as a kid, he was always Prune Face. It's a lovely figure. It's definitely worthy of the 85% grade. I think he looks absolutely immaculate. Is it a figure that I would have picked up if I wasn't collecting the full run of 96? Maybe not, but because I am collecting that full run, then this is definitely a must.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the whole naming of them, is this one in the vintage collection?
Yes, he's in the vintage collection.
So when they put them into the vintage collection, do they then list them with their name? They don't list it as Prune Face, they list it with their name.
Yeah, they've listed them so far with their name. Yeah.
So that's the something that sort of differs with the cards, I suppose. Yeah, the card backs.
Well, I'm fairly certain it's Orimoko. Oh my god, I've got to get that right. And Prune Face on the card.
TVC 114. Orimoko, Prune Face.
I thought he was. Yeah. Prune Face. So it did say Prune Face on the card as well.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Right, there we go.
Okay, what's up next then?
Okay, the next one is a 1978 Death Star Droid, and this is a Hong Kong COO. UKG graded 80%, and this one also cost £65 from Another League Toys.
Nice.
Now, this is a figure I did have as a kid as well. It's a great figure. Now, I don't often do this, but I have to admit that I'm not sure this one is worthy of an 80 grade. I think this is more of a 75 grade. I think perhaps some of the black paint that's on its shoulders and on its eyes is definitely quite badly rubbed off. So I think they've overgraded this slightly, which might also be the reason why it only costs £65. Considering this is a 1978 figure. But it doesn't matter. It's not one of those. It's not one of the big name figures. It's got an 80 grade on the case, so that's all I care about. And it's another figure to add to my New Hope what run, if you like, or Star
Yeah.
Wars run that I've got up there. And we've nearly completed the Star Wars run now, so we're getting
Wow.
ever closer.
Nice.
Yeah.
No accessories with that one, no?
No, just it
No.
was like it's like C3PO just come as a plain
Yeah.
droid. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, accessories that can't, if you've got accessories, they can be lost. So that's quite handy, isn't it? At least you know it's going to be
Actually,
complete
that's a really good point.
with originals. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and that might be why there's quite a lot of those droids around still, because obviously they're easier to grade because you haven't got to put anything in with them when you send them off to be graded. So yeah, it's a really good point, Adam.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Up next.
Okay, next one is a 1977 C3PO COO is Hong Kong, and it is UKG graded 80%. And this one also costs £65 from Another League Toys. Again, it's my second and final C3PO. I now have both the C3POs,
Oh,
the
brilliant.
removable limbs
Yeah.
and non-removable. This one is an 80 grade, and it's definitely worthy of an 80 grade. Some of the gold is slightly tarnished, I'd say, on his paint. It's not fantastic, but again, it's another one of those figures that I need to complete the 96, but also complete my a New Hope / Star Wars run. I now only need the Farm Boy Luke, and I've completed that run of
Wow.
figures. So the first was it 21, I think, figures for Star Wars. So
Only one of the most expensive ones left then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fingers crossed we pick him up at a good price. So yeah, really happy to have him. Fantastic Christmas presents. All three of those were for Christmas that I've just gone through. So really,
Yeah.
really generous of those people. And I do apologise if they watch this to actually
Yeah.
have to ask you how much you spent
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, absolutely. One more then.
Yes, one more.
One
So
more.
my final one, and this is
Yeah.
this was also a Christmas present, but this is one I purchased for the person to buy me, so I didn't have to ask for this one. Now this one was a bit of a bargain, I have to say. This is a 1984 Princess Leia battle poncho. So
Okay,
Return
yeah.
of the Jedi figure. It's a no COO. It's UKG graded 80%, which I'm really surprised at, and it must be because of the figure, because the figure got an 80, the
Yeah.
paint got an 85, and the cloak got an 85. Or the poncho got an 85. So obviously they've downgraded it to an 80 because of the figure. So it must have loose limbs. That's all I can think. But this
Yeah.
is a quality figure, and I only paid £70 for it on
Wow.
eBay. Yeah, so I think I got a real bargain here. It was obviously one that slipped by other collectors, or perhaps no one was looking out for it at the time.
Hmm.
This is a great figure, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but about 14, 15 years ago, Steph, myself, her mother, and her brother James were all out at a car show. It's like a car museum. It's up near Birmingham, and I do forgive me, I can't remember what it's called. And while we were there, we popped upstairs for a coffee, and there was this really, really tiny Star Wars toy fair going on there. It was only
Okay.
2 stalls. That's all it was. It was
Yeah.
tiny, and of course, I was like, "Ooh, Star Wars!" So I
Yeah.
went straight over there, and I was like looking at all of these vintage Kenner carded Star Wars figures, and Steph's mum came over, bless her, and she said, "Oh, can I get you one of these for Christmas?" So I picked out the Princess Leia battle poncho, Return the Jedi carded figure, which still
Yeah.
remains up there on my shelf. So 15 years ago or 14 years ago, that figure represented my next foray into Star Wars collecting, because I've always
Yeah.
collected, but that was the figure that triggered me getting into everything you see behind me, I suppose you could argue.
Yeah.
Um, and the irony and brilliance of this story is that it was Steph's mum who bought me this graded loose figure of Battle Poncho. So she's basically
Yeah.
bought me the carded one and the loose graded one now. So
Awesome.
big thank you to her. And story has repeated itself, and
Yeah.
we've gone full circle. So I was really
That's
chuffed
really
with that.
cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
cool
brilliant.
story. Yeah, I was going to say, is that the vintage, the old school or vintage collection?
Yeah, no,
It's
it's the
the
the, the old
original.
school Kenner. Yeah, the original Kenner
Oh,
card. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
it's probably actually the most mint of my vintage Kenner carded figures that I've got. It's absolutely
amazing.
immaculate. It's not yellowed or anything. But even going back 15 years ago, the price that was paid for it back then is over half of what it'd be now if you sold it.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
yeah,
back. I think BOE said to us when he came on and chatted to us once that if you go back 10, 15 years, you could pick these things up for not next to nothing, but nothing
but in
compared to what you
comparison,
pay for them now. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, could
yeah.
that be the start of the carded graded collection?
No,
Send that
definitely
one
not.
away.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No.
That's just
Don't
not
even
something
start.
you're.
No, no. There
Okay,
would be no
okay.
patience in this house for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I won't. I won't bring it up again. No.
Okay.
Good. Right. Well, with that, then we better get the graphic up and see what that's done. But this they were all under the average. So next week it's going down again.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but there's still the big guns left to pick up. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be
But as
painful.
far as things going, I think you're doing very well. So I'm impressed.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've managed to search out some really good deals thus far. So what's that bring my total up, adding those four?
Now you're asking. I haven't worked that out yet.
No,
That's
sorry, no. How many
decent.
figures have I collected
Oh,
so
that's up
far?
to 80 now then. 80 of
80.
the
Wow, so I've
96.
only 16 left to go. So
Yeah.
when we're recording this at the end of December, beginning of January. So that's 2 years exactly since I started this. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
another 2 years to get the last 17.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Or one a month if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on this episode. Let us know what you think of Martyn's pickups, which one his best one is today. And be sure to come back soon. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.